This video is sponsored by Mississippi Land Bank. Visit them online at mslandbank.com. Every team in the country has some key transfers, it seems like, now that the portal's wide open. Mississippi State has key transfers, I think, on both sides of the ball. In this video, we're going to take a look at key transfers for the Bulldogs on offense, particularly just one position, wide receiver. Wideouts, inside guys, and they've got two guys transferring in from the Pac-12 that I think could have an impact this year. Let's take a look. Makai Polk transferred in. He came in for the spring semester, so he went through spring practice, played in the spring game, had a touchdown. Makai Polk is 6'3", 200 plus, and played on the outside receiver at Cal for 2 seasons. He was a freshman in 19, a sophomore in 2020. So that means he has at least 2 years of eligibility remaining, as many as 3 years left, and that's not including potentially a red shirt in there if he were to need it. Okay, this is Polk lined up down here, single receiver into the boundary, balls in the left hash, in a 3-by-1 with a tight end. That's what they're using here in this play. And so he's singled up against this corner. It looks to me like man-free, so it's man-to-man everywhere with the safety in the middle. It could be some form of cover 3, but because the corner has inside position, like he's going to try to push the receiver to the outside and use the sideline to help him, tells me, or it looks like man-to-man. Polk's just going to run right by him. Shows you some speed and the ability to just run by a corner if he doesn't get touched. Runs right by him. Ball's even underthrown a little bit. If it's if it's put out there, maybe he catches it and runs away from these guys. Not a bad throw, but it's not perfect either. But a big play because he just beats him off the line of scrimmage down the field. Now, when you look at the numbers, he played in 8 games as a freshman. Didn't get the ball a lot, but when he did, he was very productive with the opportunities he got. And here he is in a bowl game when he was a young player, just a freshman, motioning across, and it kind of put him at an advantage against the corner off the line of scrimmage, but a couple other things happening too. We'll watch the play. So he motions across into the boundary, up the sideline. He's in that hole. Safety stayed in the middle, and they hit him. And right there, he catches it on the sideline, looking to stick it in the end zone. At first, they weren't sure. They reviewed it and then said, yeah, he definitely caught it, had a foot in, and completion, just didn't quite get it in the end zone. See how they used him here? Again, I'm pretty sure this is the end of his freshman year, so they started out with a 3-receiver side and just a tight end over here on this side. When they motion him across, and that puts 2 receivers over here, tight end and Polk. When they release, tight end goes up the field, gets right in the vision of this safety and holds him right in the middle of the field. So that allowed him to hit the sideline. Safety stayed inside. That was gave you, a big old hole out here on the back end, again, in the sideline to try to throw the ball into. And that's what they did. So motion him across. He's past the corner. The safety stayed in the middle with the tight end. Quarterback read it, and a really nice throw. That's a good job when you know you're going to get hit. Concentrate on the football. Secure it. Didn't quite get it over the pylon there. Got to hang on to that football regardless, but fortunate, big play. Last season, COVID season 2020, just played 4 games, limited opportunities, but pretty good in those limited opportunities. And here he is matched up 1-on-1 up top. They got 3 receivers wide side of the field here. He's singled up into the boundary. He's just 1-on-1 with that corner. Corner's got inside position, so you got to make some room for the quarterback to throw the ball, and that's a really good route right there. Just beats him. And it's an excellent job to focus on the football and have to, switch over to the outside shoulder. Of course, probably expecting it, but again, you look at the route up top. Inside move right there, creating a little bit of space. Try to get that corner to move inside a little bit so I get a little more space to turn and get to the pylon. Give my quarterback some room to throw it in there. And then when he does, you got to flip your head. That's what he's doing right here. He's looking inside. Now he's flipping his head to find the football in the pylon. And that's an excellent job. Really nice throw again, but nice catch over the shoulder, concentration, get a foot down, and a touchdown in this ball game against Oregon State. See it there, foot down, concentrate on the football. That's a really nice job. Okay, now he had a touchdown in the spring game. He's matched up top up here with the corner. Had a touchdown in the spring game, but honestly, it's kind of a busted coverage on the defense's part. The safety was nowhere to be found. The corner thinks he's got help over the top, lets him go. You see Richardson stay up That's happening far left. Richardson stayed up as if he thinks I'm underneath. He's looking at the quarterback. He's letting him run by, but there's no help over the top. So you get a bust. Quarterback, if you're going to play at this level, you have to take advantage of mistakes. Will Rogers found him right there. And they're very excited about him at Mississippi State. It's just the game's got to pick up and translate now at the Southeastern Conference level. Right, here he is against UCLA. And, he's lined up tight, so he's almost on the hash, even though he's the single receiver on that side. So he's got all this field to work with, and he's one-on-one with the corner. He runs that skinny slant, kind of vertical, and I like it because it's in traffic and it's tight coverage. So the corner's right on his hip. You're running into the vicinity of a safety that's sitting over the top, and the ability to go in there in a live ball game and catch it. Nice move, get the inside, use your hands to catch the football. It's a really nice job. 2 receiver side, so it's 2 by 2 against UCLA, 4 receivers, and he's the outside. And this is going to be a screen to him. This is a play that is in the Mississippi State offense, and they will run it a bunch, given the scenarios. That tunnel screen where you're getting in behind those linemen. So if you were to look at this right now, the screen has happened. He's caught the football on the screen, and there's this little bitty window you got to kind of get in front of defenders and behind those guys. So if you were to guess right now how the play ends, what would you guess? Big play, short play, completion, what? 1 block, 2 block, go to the house. So formationally, they called it at the right time, and it was a touchdown for Makai Polk. A couple of catches for Makai Polk back in that bowl game against Illinois. And again, I think this is his freshman year, but they're on back-to-back plays, 2 in a row. He's matched up here one-on-one with the corner. He's going to get a man approach from the corner, so it's going to be a man-free deal. Beats him inside off the line of scrimmage. Ball thrown outside, makes the catch. Come back, he's got a similar look. He's bottom of your screen. On a 3rd down, they bunched it up there in the formation. It looks like run and everything, but they're coming out of there with play action. So he makes it look like run, sells it. I'm blocking, and then turn loose because my quarterback's now rolling. Corner falls inside, and he's free in that hole up the sideline. Here's what I like. He knows it, feels it, got a safety coming over. I got to catch this football knowing he may come in flying in here and hit me. And can you concentrate and do it? And he does it. Make the catch, take the hit, hang on, big play. And the other is Jamir Calvin. And he's a really interesting case, I think, for Mississippi State and what he could mean. He plays the inside receiver position, or at least that's what he's projected to do and has done most of his career. You got to go all the way back to 2017 when he was a starter in his first year in college for Mike Leach and the same coaching staff at Washington State. He played in 2017 as a freshman, played in 2018 on that Gardner Minshew team. All right, here's Calvin playing in the slot, 4 receivers, 2 by 2. In 2017, this is a game for 2017 against Stanford, and he's going to, I say mesh, it's not really mesh. He's just running the shallow cross. Everybody's dropping in the end zone, and they turn him loose, and when it happens, quarterback just takes a completion, and now you've got a foot race to the pylon. And it beats him for an easy touchdown. Okay, this is Stanford against Stanford in 2018. His quarterback is Gardner Minshew. Calvin in the slot. He's seeing zone. He's going to run that, middle. And you can't see all the defenders on the screen right here, so you can't see the entire read. But you're getting some sort of zone coverage. He and quarterback both read it. Only one guy in the middle of the field in terms of the underneath coverage, and that's the linebacker. Immediately runs out of there. And so I think that's what brings the quarterback's eyes back right there. So it's the receiver's job, find the throwing lane, does it. His eyes come back, he gets it to him. So you had what is a safety over the top who's jumping this thing sort of underneath it, behind it. And once this is caught, it's like yards after the catch. It's totally up to the receiver. You beat 1, you beat 2, run through that, keep going, turn it into a big play. It really shows you some potential, and he understands the routes within the offense. And here's that game. He's playing with Minshew against Stanford in 2018. He's in the slot, 4 receivers, 2 by 2. He's the slot to the wide side of the field. We'll watch it first. He's just straight up the hash, go to the inside. Linebacker jumps on him, and then it's a really nice throw to the back shoulder. He catches it under duress, gets him in field goal range. I was looking here at what Stanford's doing. It's interesting how they flew those safeties out of there one deep. It's two safeties, but they're off the hash, right? So they're not flying out in the middle of the field, just basically leaving the entire middle of the field wide open. But what they're doing is it's Tampa 2, okay? So they're flying their linebacker. It's a three-man front. He's technically the middle. They're flying him back to the middle of the field to look middle deep. And so you wind up with three deep. So that's why it's called that Tampa 2. Well, when the linebacker turns and runs, it's Jamir Calvin who's taking an inside release and running vertical that he has to run with step for step. And the linebacker does a pretty good job. He turns, looks him up, sees him vertical. You see 27, the linebacker now turn and run with him. If he falls down or can't run with him, this is wide open in the middle of the field for a touchdown. So there's a lot of pressure on him. We runs with him step for step. Therefore, quarterback in a blink has to make the decision. I'm not throwing this up top and letting him run under it. I'm throwing it on his back shoulder, almost as if we're throwing back shoulder over here on the sideline. The defender doesn't have his head turned. So it's a back shoulder throw in the middle of the field. It's a really good throw and a big play. Then he missed the entire 2019 season to come back and play in just those 4 games last year in 2020. Okay, and this is Calvin last year in 2020. They made him an outside receiver last year at Washington State. So you see him out on the numbers, 2x2, 4 receivers. He's one-on-one with the outside corner there. It's a one-on-one. Make it look like pick of some sort, right? Like right here, they're making, we'll come back and look, make it look like pick, but he's going to stop, go back outside, and catch it for a touchdown. And that's an excellent job, by the way, to kind of know where you are on the field. You catch that football, turn, get it over the pylon, and don't get it knocked out of there. This is what I was talking about on the route. Down here on the goal line, a lot of teams do what? You go here, inside picks the outside defender, and we run underneath, get a free one, or vice versa. The outside comes in and picks this guy against man, and we try to get the underneath open with a pick. And defensive backs, banjo it or swap, or switch it off, whatever you want to call it, to hand that off when that happens. So because defenses started doing that, we have routes where we'll run in here, make it look like we're going to pick for the inside, but instead he stays and the outside goes back out. So we're going to cross them up if they decide to switch it, and that's what they're doing. You go step inside, make it look like pick, but now I'm going back out since you're trying to switch it off and you can't cover me. And it's an excellent throw and catch. So they moved him to the outside receiver position last year at Washington State. Think about Calvin. He made the all Pac-12 freshman team as a freshman in 2017, played in 13 games, played in another 12 games the next year, and was really explosive in the slot on those early Washington State teams that he was on under Mike Leach in this same offense. Things changed to him a little bit. He got hurt, missed the 19 season, but in 2020 in those 4 games, they moved him to an outside receiver position. And he was pretty productive in the opportunities that he got. You see him up top again, up here, matched up with the corner, but it's not a straight up man-to-man. He's just sort of matched up with him on that side. He gets open up the sideline. A little bit of a, I guess you could call it, it's like a bust in the coverage. They turn him loose. The safety isn't over the top. Quarterback finds it. It's maybe not as much a bust as it is a good route and an excellent read by the quarterback. All right, and here he is, same game, same drive, top of your screen on the single receiver side, into the boundary, ball on the right hash. Inside move, slant. He's seeing 3 deep zone, run the route inside, catches it, and now you got to turn and take on a lick. And he almost gets through that. His knee touches. But the thing you like right here is he knows he's going to get hit. Can you go catch footballs in the middle of the field when you know contact is coming? And you got to be able to do it in Mississippi State's offense. Catch it, takes a real good shot, and tries to stay up, but knee just barely touches right there. At Mississippi State, you expect Jamir Calvin to be moved back into the slot where he had that success for these same coaches in 2017 and 18. So those are 2 guys that are they're in Starkville. They're a part of it, and I think they have a chance to maybe not just have a small role, but certainly for Makai Polk on the outside and maybe even for Calvin on the inside to earn significant roles in this Mike Leach air raid offense because they play so many guys at that position in every ball game. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, let me know about it. Hit me up on social media, Radio Wyatt. Thanks to Mississippi Land Bank for sponsoring these videos and making them possible. Check them out at mslandbank.com. Thanks to Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Check them out, favrates.com. Go with the home team. I'm Matt Wyatt, and I'll see you on the next one.